Okay, guys, we're back and we're live. Welcome back, you guys, to our weekly live feed. As you are logging on, say hello, type into the comment section. If you are logging on Instagram, we are live on YouTube. We are not live on Facebook because our Facebook got hacked last week and we haven't been able to rehook up the live stream to it. We do have the page back, so that's good. But we do not have the live stream on Facebook. So check out YouTube for the live stream. If you're on Instagram, you can watch on Instagram, but you're just not going to see screen shares. You're going to see just my face. That's it. That's all you're going to see on Instagram. So if you want to see the full version of this, go on over to YouTube. Link is in my bio. And if you are on YouTube, comment in, say hello, tell me where you're coming in from. We always give it a few minutes for everybody to get logged on. And while we are doing that, let's go through our YouTube sponsors. So Liquid Sun Rayz is one of our YouTube channel sponsors. They are the best tanners in the competition business. So give them a check them out if you've never used them before. If you have used them, then you already know. But this QR code right here, that'll get you over there, and you can use Cuties15 for your discount on all of your skin prep and tanning needs, and let them know that I sent you. And our sponsors, Prozis. So Prozis, sports nutrition, activewear, all sorts of fun stuff. They are also our channel sponsors, and for them, you're going to use code Cuties10 for additional savings. They have everything you could possibly need. It's kind of like the Amazon of sports nutrition, basically. So you can get all your supplements, all your food, all your clothing, all your equipment, everything that you possibly need, all from Prozis.com. Check them out through the QR code right here. And they're based on Portugal, so they go through rigorous testing with all of their supplements that we don't even go through here in the States. So all of their stuff's even better than what you can get here in the US. So go check them out. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. I'm going to get rid of this logo up the top because it's blocking. Where is it? There we go. All the way from Singapore. Look at that. I love it. I love it. We got Boston. We got Tampa. What's up, guys? Where's my water? There it is. And I got rid of that logo because it was blocking. I feel like every time I log on to my streaming service here, they've done a new update, and I don't like it. It's always something new. I'm like, what is it doing now? I don't understand. Hudson Valley, New York. Yes. Now I am going to put up a new QR code here for CCTS tickets. We are in early bird ticket sales right now. So that's what you're going to see in this QR code right up here. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, it's right here. You gotta scan that right there, okay? It is our 10-year anniversary this year. We already have a ton of ladies coming, and we have a limited amount of tickets available. So if you haven't gotten yours yet, you need to get one right here. We even have payment plans available for you. Obviously, you can pay in full, but if you need help with your budget, we understand everybody needs help with budget sometimes. There are payment plans for you, payment plan options. So it's in January. If you were on the webinar this week, that's why we bumped back this live feed, because we normally do them on Tuesdays. But we bumped it back because I had a webinar to do this week about Cuties Conquering the Stage right here. And every day we're announcing new speakers and sponsors and all of the fun things like we do every year. We got Canada, we got Virginia, we got Wisconsin. Everybody's in here. We got people all over the place. So we have quite a bit to talk about tonight because there was 3 pro shows this past weekend, and we got 2 coming up this weekend. So we are going to go through the top 5 on each of the pro shows from this past weekend, and we are going to preview next weekend's shows. So one of the cool things about next weekend's shows is that they are back-to-back, meaning there's a Saturday and a Sunday show, and they are within a few hours drive of each other. So some of the pros that are doing one show are doing the next one the following day. So that's interesting. That's going to make for an interesting weekend this weekend. But before we get into that, I am going to get rid of this QR code so we have more space on the screen. And we are going to start going through this past weekend. Where are we at? Here we are. Okay, so we're going to start with Japan. Pull the chat back up here so I can see you guys. There we go. All right, we're going to start with Japan, and then we'll go through to Klash and Arizona. So this was the Tokyo Pro. Ashley Cutlisser did win it. We kind of assumed she would, but of course, she's not unbeatable. We talked about that this year. She's already been beat twice this year. So it wasn't out of the ordinary that we could see somebody come in and actually take the title from her. She did win this show. She won the Japan show last year too, November. So both times she's been out there in the last year, she's won it. We're going to go through the top 5. The girls that we thought were going to be in the top 5 pretty much were. Jibin Park, she is a previous Olympian. If you noticed here, look at this. Look at all of these photos. When you do these Asian shows, they do so many pictures. You could literally put a flip book together. Like we're on page 9 and we're just getting to her front pose. Crazy. Still not in her front pose. 10. Let's see. We're going to get a full front pose. I think we got a full front pose right here. Look at that on page 10 of pictures. Let me see. There we go. All right. So Jibin Park, she is, like I said, she has been to the Olympia in the past. Beautiful girl, obviously beautiful look. But the first thing that I'm looking at here is she looks pretty top heavy. Lats are a little wide in comparison to her lower body. I think she actually needs a little bit more shoulder, but I think she needs to kind of calm the lat down and push the glutes out a little bit more to balance her. When I look at this like straight on, it looks like she's upper body dominant, right? I think her conditioning is really good. She looks a little bit soft to the waistline, but I think all of them did. I think that's more so the lighting at this show. We'll see it as we go through the rest of the top 5. So I'm not necessarily sure that her conditioning was off. I think that that's just the lighting. And I would say she probably needs to bring her waistline in a little tighter just in general because it looks a little thick on her frame. Now, she looks great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying to get a better balance and to make her really, her proportions really pop there. Let's take a look. Let's see how many pages we got to go to before we can get to a back shot. We're not there yet. Let's go to 17. Let's see. 17, still not there. Let's go to 19. Still not there. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Almost there. Page 25. We have 25. Ah, there we go. We got a back shot. Finally, page 25. They love their photos over there, man. Okay. So I think this is a pretty good back shot here. She probably needs a little bit more upper glute to pop that a little bit more. Conditioning, again, looks pretty good. Maybe needs to be a little bit thicker on the lower half just to balance her upper and lower. Again, just talking about balancing her upper and lower body. I think her upper body is a little bit dominant here. I think she would stand to have a little bit more upper glute here in order to pop that out. That really get her proportions popping, but really good conditioning through here. I don't think she's too tight by any stretch of the imagination. I just think she just needs more size on the lower half. In general, great package, just needs to be a little bit bigger on the bottom. And then we have Yume. So she has been doing pretty well this season with top 5s. We thought she would be one of the ones kind of coming into this. We got a front pose at the top of the stage, so we'll use that one versus trying to go through and find one. Here we go. So here, I would say she's better balanced than we just saw in 5th place. So fourth for her. I think again her upper and lower body are definitely in a better balance here than what we just saw. Conditioning is a little bit tighter, which I think is great. I think this is where she needs to be. Again, I think that this was the right conditioning for her. I think she just needs a little bit more shoulders. I think in general, she just needs to pop the shoulder, the delt a little bit better. And that's just a little bit more size. I think other than that, I think she's pretty spot on with this front pose. Got to be careful with the suit. She looks like she's having a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction. I'm not going to zoom in on that because that, don't need to do that. But let's see if we can find a back shot. And for those of you that didn't hear, the Masters Olympia next year will be in Japan. So expect to have a lot of photos. Expect to have a lot of pictures, a lot of media. Okay, back shot. So this back pose looks like she's straining to me. It looks like she's really arching hard, right? She needs more glutes to balance out her legs. I think from the back, her legs are a little bit more dominant. And I think if she just relaxed her upper body a little bit and let her shoulders pop open a little, that would balance her from the back. Her hair looks a little long here. I would have cut her hair a touch. This pose just to me looks a little overdone. I feel like they're doing this probably to try to get her hamstrings to pop a little bit better and to make her glutes pop a little bit better. But in reality, what she needs is she just needs to grow some more glutes so she doesn't have to pose like this. Because this is just a little bit too much with the pose. It looks like she's doing too much. Not bad, but again, just pushing a little too hard. And if she was to grow some more glutes, she wouldn't have to do that. So we have Stine, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Again, I've heard it 1,000 different ways. So we're going to try and find a front pose of her up front. She is Olympia qualified. Here we go. She's still got the posing issues. I've commented about this before. She needs to relax her posing. She is way overarching here. Way overarching here. And she always does this, man. Her front pose would be so much better if she could just relax this front pose, just in general. She is way overarching. She's got great conditioning, great shape, great size, all of that, but she's just overposing, way overposing. I would also say her makeup's a little meh. I don't know. It looks like she almost doesn't have any makeup on. So I would fix that. Suit's okay. I would be interested to see what it looks like in person because I can tell it's got the neon on it. So I would like to see what it looked like under the lights. I'm guessing it looked better under the lights than what we're seeing here on the photos, to be honest with you. But really where she needs work and where she always needs work, in my opinion, is her posing. Her posing is rough. Just fix that front pose. Just fix that front pose. You don't need to do that much. You don't need to push that hard. Here's her back pose. And the funny part about it is that from her back pose, she's not doing all that, right? She still probably is arching a little bit too hard from the back. She could probably stand up a little taller. That would open her back up a little bit more. We'd see those round delts on the outside that would balance her a little bit better because I think from the back, she's pretty well balanced. But she's just not, again, this pose isn't quite right. Conditioning looks really good. She doesn't have really tight tie-ins or anything like that. This is good conditioning. She just needs to rework this pose. You know, open the upper body a little bit. Probably open the lower body stance just a touch as well. That would put her into a better X frame and just really balance her from top to bottom. So for me, with her, as always, it's just going to be about her posing more than anything else. She just needs to fix her posing. And that's whenever I see her, that's always my critique for her is her posing. Wee Young Jun is the second or this third? Nope, this is second. We're up to second. Okay. I feel like I missed somebody. Maybe I didn't. I'm not familiar with this one. I don't think we talked about her on the preview. So she's new here. I don't know if she's new in general. I just don't know her. There we go. I don't know if she's fully posed here. If she's fully posed here, I thought I pulled the fully posed one. I would fix this pose a bit. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fully posed. Yeah, I would fix the pose a little bit. Conditioning looks good. She needs to push a little bit more into the hip, get that glute to pop a little bit more. She's got some nice round delts, and my eyes go directly to those because of the way she's standing. She's a little bit too far to the side, I think. I think she needs to open up a little bit, and that would actually bring her whole shape together a little bit better. But she's nice and full. She's got good round muscle bellies, good shape to her. Just needs to fix the posing a little bit. See if we can get a back pose. Up to page 27 and no back pose yet. 28. Let's see. Okay. So again, when we're looking at the back pose, not bad, just a little bit overdone with the upper body, like the arch there. I mean, she's got great glutes, fantastic shape, fantastic look from the back. I mean, this is great. Full round glutes, all of that. It's just, she just needs to fix that upper body part of her back pose. Same thing I was talking about in the front pose, is her upper body's off with the posing. So she just needs to fix that a little bit, maybe stand up a little taller, release the arms down a little bit, that kind of thing. Because this is a great back shot. If she was to hit this with the right posing, she'd be money. She'd be money. I mean, she took second, so I'm not saying she's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm just saying she would have looked better if she posed it right. And then we have Ashley in first, which I think we all kind of knew was going to happen. Did we miss her front pose? Did she actually hit a front pose? Yep, we did. Okay, so she's here. Okay. All right, so I like the red suit on her. I actually think I like the red suit better than I do the green. I like the straight hair on her as well. This is bothering me. The hair in the middle of the chest is bothering me. So she needs to move that out of the way. But this is a really, really good shape for her. I think her conditioning is right on. We don't see any like water in her lower back or anything like we do sometimes. I would say her tan could be darker. Against this red, it doesn't pop very well. So I'm guessing, it could be lighting, but I'm guessing her tan could have been a little bit darker here. Overall makeup looks good. Overall look is good. I would just like to see the tan just a touch darker here. Let's get to back shot. Okay, here's a back shot. So this is about as good as you can get with the back shot. Her conditioning is right on. Hamstring tie-ins are there, but they're not too hard. She's got some good pops, good fullness. She's no longer wearing that T-back on the bottoms, which is fantastic. She's got her upper body just relaxed here, so we see the delts. She's got a little bit of an imbalance here. At this show, it's not going to hurt her, but she's got to watch this kind of thing for the Olympia. That will make a difference in the Olympia. She's pretty much hitting this right on. I think that her back pose is pretty damn good right here. I don't think I would change a whole lot with this. Her hair is fine this time. The last couple of shows her hair's been too long. This is good. The only thing I would watch, like I said with her, she's got a little bit of imbalance with her arms and her shoulders in the back. Again, that's not going to hurt her here at this show, but it will once we get to the Olympia, So in general, I think this was a very good package for Ashley. I think this was right up her alley, tight and full, right where she needs to be. So pretty clear winner there. Okay, so we're going to move on to Klash. This one was probably, well, I was going to say this one was the most competitive show of the year, or weekend, but I would say that Arizona was too. So we had several ladies in this lineup that are previous Olympians that have not qualified yet. So we weren't sure exactly how this was going to roll. That first call out was pretty much all girls that have been to the Olympia or close. So in fifth, we had Sierra. Get a shot up here. I was not a fan of her makeup and tan. Tan looks a little bit ashy to me. Makeup looks really blah. It's just kind of missing something. It's very matte. It doesn't do her a whole lot of justice here. And I would say she just needs to be a little bit tighter. Like I'm looking at her lower back here. I feel like she's got to bring this waistline in a little bit more. It could just be the lighting too. So I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. This is just what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this lower back here. She needs to, I would say she just needs to bring, and I'm not even saying like the conditioning, I'm saying just in general needs to bring her waistline in a little bit more. Yeah, again, and I don't know. It's just, we're not, the physique isn't popping like I've seen it pop on her in the past. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little bit more pop from her. Just in general, like her makeup, her physique in general, just a little bit more pop. Back pose here. So I actually really like her hair in this show. I think it looks really pretty. I like the way her hair looks. Yeah, again, I'm kind of missing pop here. Like I'm missing pop in the shoulders, and I'm missing pop in the upper outer glutes here. It's kind of like we don't have a delineation between her legs and her glutes. I just want to see her glutes pop up and out a little bit more. Conditioning is good. I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with the conditioning. I just want to see more, again, upper outer glute. I think that would be helpful. And when we're looking at her lower back, we're seeing some skin folds here. So again, I'm thinking conditioning or just bringing in a little bit tighter in the waistline would help to eliminate that. That's where my eye goes. Next we have Kiki. So Kiki has been doing well. She, first call out at Nashville, top here. She's gotten a lot better. She still has the suit issue with her chest coming out of it. I've talked to her about this too. She's going to try a couple different things. Her makeup was definitely better at this show than it was in Nashville. I think she's got some good conditioning, good pop to her physique. The issue with her is just genetically, she has a short torso, so she's trying to fight that basically. I think her conditioning is great. I don't think I would change anything about her conditioning here. Maybe open up the pose a little bit more in the upper body, maybe. But even that's just a maybe. I don't know if that's the right call or not. I think this is a pretty good look for her. Other than the suit top being an issue, this is pretty good from the front. There's not a whole lot else I would change. I'd like to see her front pose a little bit more open. I don't know if that's the right call or not. I just like to see it. Let's take a look at her back pose. Hair is a little too long here. The extensions could be blended better as well. I would like to see her go with curls to blend the hair a little bit better because we see a real specific delineation between her hair and her extensions. Upper body looks good, but I think she's pushing too hard on her lower body. I do know that she told me her feedback was she needs more hamstring tie-in. So I'm guessing she's pushing to try to get that hamstring tie-in. But I would say just try to come in a touch leaner from the back, get some more upper outer glute, and don't push quite so hard. Try to stand up tall and tilt and just bring everything together in the lower half. She's got some really good pop, some 3D projection here. She just needs some more upper outer up here. I think her upper body looks great. Again, what she's fighting against here, she has a very short torso. So she has to be able to balance that. The suit bottoms up that high don't help. I would bring them down a little bit, kind of get that upper glute to pop a little bit more, But in general, she just needs some more upper outer glute, needs to come in a little bit tighter. From the front, I think there's not a whole lot to improve upon other than just fixing the top issue. From the back, she just needs to get some more glutes and hammies, some upper outer glutes and some hammies popping. Okay, we have Yulia next. Oops. Okay, so from the front, I actually thought this was a pretty good shot of her. I think personally, she just needs to grow a little bit more upper body, a little bit more shoulders, a little bit more lats to really get this pose to pop. Because when I look at her waistline to glute ratio, I mean, it's really, really good. This is a really, really good pop right here. Her critique is she always gets critiqued on her waistline not being tight enough. So we do see a little bit of distension here, but in general, I think this is a pretty good look for her waistline. What I would like to see is I just want to see this V out into her lat and her shoulder bigger. I think that would make her proportions pop a little bit better here. And then from the back, so her critique was that she needed to open up her upper body more in her back pose to give her more V. I don't know how she could have opened up her back pose more, to be honest with you. I think that's about as open as you can get. Love this hair look. I think that looks great. I honestly, from the shots that I saw of this show, I would have given it to her from the back, with one caveat of she didn't have a lot of pop in the glutes. And I think that was a glaze thing. I don't think it was a physique thing. I think it was a glaze thing. So when I was looking at the comparison shots and stuff, her glutes didn't shine and pop like the other ones did. And I think that was a glaze issue more than anything else. I don't think it was a physique issue. They may not have liked this feathering in the quads. We've got a little bit of feathering here. She's a little bit tight through the hamstrings. You know, this is a touch too tight here. So maybe just fill that out a little bit more, a little bit more density of muscle there would do that. So that's where my attention would be. My attention would be really making that front pose more cartoonish, and then adding more muscle density onto the hamstrings so we don't get those tight strings in the hamstrings here. Then we have Ashley. So I actually felt like this was a very good package for Ashley. Go back to the front page here. Ashley tends to be a little bit more on the muscular side, as you can see. I mean, she definitely has the muscle. She has some thickness, that kind of thing, some density. But I felt like she streamlined this pretty well. She tends to be a little bit hard in the quads. I don't see that here. I don't think she's too hard in the quads. She's definitely very conditioned. So don't get me wrong. She's very conditioned. You can see it, you know, in her arms, things like that. But honestly, I think this conditioning is pretty good. I think this is probably about the best I've seen her conditioning. And I do think that actually her makeup is one of the best makeup looks that we've seen so far in this lineup. I think her makeup looks really good here. And back pose. From the back, I think she looks great too. I think this conditioning is pretty much right on. One thing I would change is I would open this back up a little bit more. She's kind of pinching her elbows, so bring the elbows down a little on her legs. Let this open up so it balances with the lower body. I think that her suit bottoms are too high up here. We see that shallowness up at the top. Need to hide that by pulling the suit down. That's really, I think she's bending a little bit too much in the knees. Again, she's got a little bit of feathering here, just like we're talking about Yulia. So she's bending a little too much in the knees. If she was to bend a little less, that would probably diminish a little. So I think there's just little tiny tweaks to this pose that would really make her glutes pop a little bit better. Just the overall pose itself. And again, upper body open up a little bit. But this was probably the best Ashley I've seen all year. I wouldn't have been upset with her winning the show. She's still going to be a little bit on the muscular side. So if she gets into a lineup where she's next to a bunch of more muscular girls, that's going to actually play well for her. Jordan did win this, and Jordan is a little bit more on the petite side when we're talking about muscularity, right? So that kind of played against Ashley in this scenario because, you know, as we knew going into this, Jordan was the favorite to win, right? Coming out of a top 10 Olympia finish. Saw a lot of people hating on the suit. I actually don't think it's a terrible suit. I am not a huge fan of the orange color, but it kind of works for her. I still like her better in pink. I still wish she'd go back to pink. I think that would be a better fit for her. But, you know, I can see probably under the lights at the show, it looked better than what we're seeing here in the photos because, again, it's got that neon orange to it. So it's not just a flat orange, it's a neon orange. So I think it probably did pop quite a bit better under the lights in person versus what we're seeing here. This is an improved Jordan. She's definitely got more muscle all over, right? She's got more muscle in the shoulders, which makes her tiny waistline even more cartoonish. That really, it's when you get a girl like this that walks out there and has that teeny tiny little waistline and she's got those proportions with these cartoon shapes, it's very, very hard to beat her. It's very, very hard to beat her. I'll also say I think this is probably one of the best makeup looks I've seen on her too. I do like the makeup that she did at this show as well. Front pose looks very good. I think her conditioning is pretty good here too. Yeah, it's hard to beat when you walk out looking like that. It's just hard to beat that. Let's get to a back pose. Here we go. So when it comes to the back pose, I think this is lighting. I can't tell. I've looked at 1,000 of these pictures, so I can't tell. I think she might have a little bit of a glute imbalance. Like it looks like she's pushing a little bit onto the left leg. So if she pushes over to the right a little, I think that would actually even this out from the back. But the lighting isn't helping because we've got that hard lighting coming in from the sides. And it's creating these shadows. I'm not really sure if that's what I'm looking at or not. I'd like to see her hair a little bit longer because I think she needs it to cover up this back, just down to like here-ish. Don't cover up the shoulders, but enough to cover up just this portion of the back here. I still want to see her lower back and I still want to see her shoulders, so it just needs to come down a touch. Like Rihanna. Rihanna has hers come down this way too and kind of cover up that back. I think that would be helpful for her back here. As far as the back conditioning is concerned, like I said, this looks pretty good. I can't tell with the lighting. It looks like her hamstrings are just tight enough and not too tight, not too soft. She's got good glaze, good projection. So yeah, in general, this is going to be a hard package to beat because her shape is just genetically so much better than the average human. And then if she comes in shape too, it's going to be hard to beat her. She's got a great presence on stage. So, yeah, good job. And she is now Olympic qualified. First show out of the gate this year. So I don't know, for Olympia, probably just come in a little tighter, I would guess. Maybe come in a little tighter. I'm not sure what her feedback was. Okay, so we're here to Arizona. So we're just going to go through Bikini for Arizona. In fifth, we have Lizzie. I pulled up her front pose here. Well, she's not fully posed in that. She's kind of posed in these. Hold on, let me try to get one where she's, yeah, that one's pretty good. Okay. So I think this is a really good shot for Lizzie from the front. I don't know if there's a whole lot I would change here. Maybe a little bit more glaze on the shoulder, maybe pop the shoulder a little bit. I don't know. Waistline looks nice and tight. She's nice and open. She's got a good V taper into the waistline. Conditioning looks very good. Again, I'm not sure there's anything really that I would change here. I think this is a pretty good front pose, to be perfectly honest. So, not sure what I would change from the front. Gets a little flamboyant with her arm movements. So I would probably calm that down a little bit just when you're going through transitions and stuff. Bring the arms in a little. From the back, she needs to open up her back. I would also kind of brush the curls out a little bit here. It looks a little bit spacey there, so I just brush the curls out. I've seen this commented a few times. I've mentioned it myself this year. She's got some sort of an imbalance between her two glutes here, and you can see it in the hamstring here. I'm not sure what that is exactly, whether it's an injury. I feel like I saw her say something about this on Instagram, but I could be wrong. I don't remember. I do know that I said something about this when she initially came out this year. There's just something going on here where she looks a little bit inflamed on this glute. So I would say between that and kind of opening up the shoulders and maybe getting a little bit more delt from the back, that's where she needs to kind of fix this back pose here. And again, I'm not sure what this is exactly, other than it may be she might be having an impingement there or something that she's got to work on. But that's where I would focus if I was her. Try to get that to even out a little bit. We have Lacey next. I think we talked about her in the preview because she's placed top 5 in the past. So I think this is a pretty good look for her. I think she needs some more shoulders. Waistline's nice and tight. Lower half of the body looks great here. I would say just a little bit more shoulder up top is where she's kind of lacking in this front pose. Maybe try to get a little bit more muscularity through the chest too, because this looks a little bit thin. Just in general, she looks just a little bit thin through this top portion, right? So just fill out just a touch from the top. And from the back, she needs to fix this back pose. And I'm not sure exactly what the issue is here. I feel like maybe she's kind of sitting into the knees a little bit. So maybe just stand up a little taller, get that lower back to tilt up a little bit more, because I think she's got better glutes than what she's showing. Also want to see this open up a little. She's got great delts here, but I just still feel like she's squeezing a little. And I'm not a fan of this suit cut. Again, it's too high up, so we're seeing shallowness up here at the top. She needs to pull it down to get rid of that shallowness, and we see that upper outer glute on the top here. Pose to me is just a little off. I don't know exactly. I would like to see it in a few different ways. So even as I'm clicking through, I mean, she's tilting a little bit more, but not a lot. And that's still sitting up too high. We got some good projection there, but I think it could be better if she could tilt a little bit more. There's just a little something off with this mobility here. I mean, her conditioning to me looks pretty good. Can't really tell with the lighting. She might need to be a little tighter. I can't tell. I think she's okay. I can't tell with the lighting here if she needs to be tighter or not. And then we have Nade, who came in third. To me, she looked a lot better at this show than Nashville just because her confidence was a whole lot better. You can just see it in her photos and everything. This front pose was a lot better. Now, the lighting's a little rough here. I can't see a whole lot of detail in her waistline and everything, so I can't comment too much on her conditioning. To me, it looks like she might be holding a little water here, but I can't tell because, again, the lighting is just off. This pose, though, is a lot better than what she did in Nashville by a lot. I know that her critique was they didn't like her suit color in Nashville, so that's why she changed it. I'd be interested to see what they thought about this one based on the lighting. Again, the lighting in these particular shots isn't great, so I don't want to judge the suit or anything like that based on that. I liked the lighter suit better than this one personally, but again, the lighting was quite a bit different in Nashville than what you see here. So it could have looked better in person than what I'm seeing here. But the front pose is 1,000 times better than what she did in Nashville. So she definitely worked on that for sure in the last week. And again, the lighting makes it difficult to see what we're looking at with the back pose here. It's just a lot of shadow. But I feel like she's just lacking a little bit of density in the hamstrings. Projection looks great. Shape looks great. Everything looks great up top. She needs to kind of, this is her strap from her suit top, so she needs to cut that or make it a little bit shorter just so it's not hanging down. But again, projection looks great here. I think she just needs a little bit more density from the back to really get everything to pop a little bit better from here down, like the hamstrings down. But again, great shape at the top, and I would also add a little bit more delt on the outer part here too, so we don't look too thin. And then we have Lisa, which I was kind of surprised to see Lisa up here in these top 2 spots because she's a European competitor. She is qualified, but she's just had some top 5 placings, but not top 2. However, she has quite a bit more muscle. She's got some fullness going on, and she compares well with Adair. That said, I'm still like this. The front pose is better than what she's done. Okay, she's still a little too far straight on. She's relaxed the front pose in comparison to what she used to do. to me, she's just still too thick right here. She's too thick through the arms and through the delts to me, and I'm still not a fan of this suit at all, and I'm not a fan of her makeup. Now, I will give her this. Okay, we're going to go to the back pose. We're going to go to the back pose. She did listen. She listened. She listened to her feedback. Okay. So I'm going to hand it to her, give her credit where credit is due. She cut her hair. So I've been saying it all season. Tyler said it about Texas that she just did. Her hair was too long. So she did cut her hair. This hair look is 1,000 times better than what she did in Texas. It's clean, it's shiny, it's all the things that it needs to be. So I will definitely give her credit here. She's got some good projection going on with the glutes. She just needs to fix this upper body here in the back pose. She's pinching a little bit, so she just needs to relax and open it up a little. Again, her delts are great here. I just need her to relax this upper body a little. But overall, this is a measurable improvement on her back pose over what she has done all year, really. So she finally listened to her feedback and she cut her hair and made herself look, presentable. That was a big piece of my feedback on her last show. And then we have Adair who won it. So we kind of figured going into this that Adair would be the front runner because she did just place second in Nashville and she could have won that show. She did change her front pose a bit, open it up a bit more, which again gave her what I've been talking about this whole live feed, more cartoonish proportions, right? Prior to, she was twisted quite a bit to the side. That really made her delt a little bit overpowering in Nashville, all of that. Opening this up the way she is now, balanced her and just, again, gave her better proportions, right? So this is definitely a better front pose. Conditioning is right on, all of that. So she looks, to me, that made a world of difference with that pose. And I do know that she's been told not to touch a thing with her upper body. I do know that as far as her feedback is concerned. And you can't get much better than this back pose, to be honest with you. She's open and wide. She's tilted enough, not too much. She's standing up nice and tall. Her hair is right down the middle of her back and it's not covering her glutes. That's great. It's nice and shiny, all of the things that we talk about, right? You can notice she's got her toes quite a bit forward here, and she's doing that on purpose so that she's not, showing too much leg, and she's got some good projection in those glutes popping through there. So, to me, this is a really well executed back pose. Also, take a look at where her suit bottoms are sitting. They're not super high on her glutes. They're down covering any kind of shallow spot you might see, so her glutes look fuller and rounder. So she did a very, very good job with her whole presentation here. Probably work on kind of opening the back up a little bit here too. Like I talked about with Lisa, Lisa's is worse. But just kind of try to open and spread those lats out a little to give yourself a little bit more shape to counterbalance your lower body here. But other than that, I wouldn't change much here. So congratulations to Adair being Olympia qualified. Yay. And that concludes our wrap-ups from this past weekend. So now it's time to go on to this coming weekend. Okay. So we got August 31st. And we got September 1st. See that right here? September 1st and August 31st. So we have some girls that are doing the August 31st and then going directly into September 1st. Okay, so looking at this list right here, go ahead and type into the comments if you see somebody here that you you could see winning the show. I did pull up a few. I pulled up a few to be paying attention to. The one that people tend to, and I mentioned this earlier today on the Reddit board, people tend to overlook is Ellie Fernandez. People always forget about her. She's gotten close. I think she's gotten, I don't know if she's gotten top 10 at the Olympia. Has she? I don't think she's gotten top 10. She's gotten close to top 10. Yeah, Ellie is your front runner here, you guys. People forget about her all the time. Ellie is your front runner on this show. I'm sorry, she is. You know, she's the one that's going to come in and likely take the show. I don't see why she wouldn't, unless she comes in off. She's always going to be in your top 2, top 3 when she's in these shows. So I would not be surprised if she wins this show. Okay. I also have Raina up. So Raina is Olympia qualified already. We've talked about her several times this year. Beautiful girl. This particular show I felt like was a better package than some. She's a little bit unbalanced from top to bottom, so she just needs to work on her front pose. She's got phenomenal glutes, a phenomenal back pose, could be a top 10 Olympian if she can get her front pose under control. So she's definitely one to be paying attention to. I don't think she's going to beat Ellie. I don't. But she could. That said, she could. I think Ellie's going to win it, but she could. She could for sure. We've also got Sharon. So Sharon has been doing well all season. She's been getting top 5s. She's that girl that, you know, at Charlotte this year, everybody was like, oh, damn, this girl looks good. She's been off stage since New York, so she's had some time to kind of refine and tweak her physique. She compares very well to Raina that we just talked about. So, you know, these two could be fighting for that, you know, top space very easily. And then I also pulled up Carrie. So Carrie Sexton, I know her personally. We competed together in Japan this past year. Love her. We had a ton of fun in Japan. We went to the dog cafes and pet puppies while we were there. She's scared of dogs. I made her go to made her pet dogs at a pet cafe, dog cafe. And she's scared of dogs. That was a tongue twister, guys. Woo. Anyway, she has gotten top 5 placings so far, and she has not been on stage since Japan. So I'm curious to see what she looks like. And she has not been here in the States yet either. So I am curious to see what she looks like in this particular lineup. I would love to see her up in that top, you know, top 3, top 4. I do think, looking at this lineup, I think it's going to be Ellie. I'm just going to put that out there. If Ellie is not in the top spot, then I'm going to give it to Raina. And then for outside of that, then probably Sharon at that point, just because I think that Sharon will compare well to Raina. So, but I don't know. We'll see. Go ahead and type into the comments if there's anybody else on here that I missed that maybe I should have pulled up. I think that's pretty fair, personally. Now, some of these girls are going to turn right around and they're going to go to the Mexico Grand Battle the next day. So when we look at the list here, we're going to see we've got Ellie again that we just talked about, right? And we've got Raina again that we just talked about. So it could be a rematch. These 2 days could be a rematch between these two girls. That would be kind of cool. Like if Ellie wins one and Raina wins the other one, you know? But I pulled up a few other names here. So we got Roxana. We've talked about her several times this year. She's been getting top 5s. She just needs to get her conditioning put together on her lower half, really. She's got a phenomenal look as far as her shape and everything. Her conditioning has always been the issue. If she's not in the winner's circle, it's because of her conditioning. So that's where she needs to improve. I've also pulled up Tiana. Also has been getting top 5s. She was 12th in Nashville. Really cute girl. She's a little bit on the small side, so I don't know how that's going to play for her for these Mexican athletes. When you get to Mexico, these girls got some muscle. They got some muscle, so that might actually play against her. But we'll see. We'll see. She could definitely surprise us. We have Jasmine. So Jasmine has been placing top 5s in the past. She just did one show this year, and she did take 10th in Tahoe. She's a previous Olympian, all of that as well. Conditioning is always her issue as well, so she needs to come in tighter. Got a great shape, just needs to make sure that she comes in tight enough. I didn't mean to bring her up, actually, so we're going to get rid of that one. I was just looking up girls, and she was not one of them. So Kiki is on here as well. We talked about Kiki already tonight, so she's another one to be paying attention to in this show. Who else? Oh, Lizzie. Lizzie's another one to be paying attention to in this show. And again, we already talked about her. Is there anybody I missed in this show? Is there anybody I missed that we should be paying attention to? I didn't look up everybody. If the name didn't pop out to me, I didn't look her up. So did I miss anybody on the lineup for Mexico? Go ahead and type into the comments who you think is going to take this one. Who do you think is going to take home the win at this one? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Who we got? Who we got for this coming weekend? Do we have Ellie winning both? I have Ellie winning both. That'd be cool, right? Maybe people will stop underestimating her if she comes in and wins both. I don't know why. People always forget about her. People always forget about Ellie, but she's a threat every time she gets on stage. And she has been for years. I think she's been to like 7 Olympias or something like that. Ridiculous. She's been competing forever and she's been doing a phenomenal job. She's always somebody to be paying attention to. Plus she's from Mexico, so that's helpful. So, what do you guys think? I'll give it a minute. Give it a minute for you guys to put your 2 cents in. And while we're doing that, I'll pop up the QR code again for CCTS tickets. If you have not gotten your 2025 CCTS ticket, you need to do that. They are going fast. Once we're sold out, we're sold out. And we sell out every year. This year we've allowed for more attendees because it is our 10th year. So we're going to pack that house out. Pack it out. Our new venue is the Omni Shoreham in DC, which is a phenomenal resort. Cannot wait for you guys to see it. Everybody's quiet tonight. Anybody, or else you're just behind. I know you guys are behind on lagging on the comments. You're like a minute behind me, that kind of thing. Anybody got anything they want to add? No predictions? No predictions? Well, like I said, I'm gonna go all in for Ellie on both of these. I think she's gonna win both. That's my 2 cents. And that's what I'm sticking to. For me, myself, and I am heading to North Americans. Yes, Raven's got her ticket. I love it. Wouldn't be the same without you, Raven. Raven always helps me at check-ins. If you're coming, you'll meet Raven at check-ins. She's always my girl to go to that helps me with the organization at check-ins. But yeah, I'll be at North Americans this coming weekend. North Americans is already going on right now for the men, so the women start Friday, but I don't have anybody till Saturday. So I got people on Saturday, and then I got Masters World on Sunday. So I'll be up there. We'll do a Behind the Bikini in person up there as well. For those of you that watched the Behind the Bikini that were released yesterday, did you all like our crazy questions? We got a lot of good feedback. People loved the crazy questions. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a few of those every episode because they're fun. They're fun. They were fun to do, and I think everybody liked them. We kind of made idiots of ourselves a little bit. A little bit. But it was fun. We'll leave it open for like another minute. If anybody's got anything they want to add, anything they want to put in. We still got a lot of y'all on here. Go ahead and type into the comments. Anything you want to put out there before we finish out for the live feed. This is your opportunity. It's your opportunity. Put it out there. All right. Well, I guess y'all are just going to have to wait and see what happens this weekend, right? You hear my dog going? My husband just got home. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Good. My husband just walked in the door, so my dogs are going nuts. Good timing, right? That was good timing. All right, you guys. Well, I will see you all this weekend at North Americans if you're going to be there, or just tune into Behind the Bikini when we release that. You'll get to see a little bit with that. Let's see how this goes. We are getting very, very close. We have only a couple weeks left when it comes to Olympic qualifications. So let's see who's going to get them. Let's see who's going to end up with those Olympic qualifications this year and who's not going.